What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside retired, we'll say that quietly, IFBB Pro Jason Arntz, man. What's up, brother? Welcome.
Thank you.
Tiger Fitness Gym. We just got through training.
We did. It was a rough one. We made it through. We stuck together.
We're still here.
We're still here.
You know, my idea of a good workout now at this point in my life is a workout where I didn't get injured. You know?
Well, look, and that's probably why we're here right now. Yeah, we're here to discuss that, and that's one of the key aspects of having longevity in the fitness industry and doing what we do every day is to stay healthy. You know, obviously train with a purpose, but you got to be smart about it, and there's certain ways to do it.
So you're in your 40s.
Yeah.
I'm in my mid-30s, and as you know, as you train, you have wear and tear kick in, and you see a lot of bodybuilders, you know, who are in their 50s or even in their 40s who can barely walk. You even see some of these guys who are still competing who have trouble getting up and down. Their joints are going, and you know, the kind of thing is like we all started training at a certain level, like everything's heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy this, just go right into it, just go till your joints are crying, right?
Yeah.
And so as you matured, as you got older and you're retired, you obviously are still holding a lot of mass. You know, what tips do you have for people? Like, let's say there's a kid in his 20s, he might like look back at this video 5 years from now and be like, wow, I'm glad I listened to that. Like, so when do you know and how do you do it as you evolve as a bodybuilder? When it's time to start, for example, on shoulder day, we did more cable and isolation type movements to warm up the joint before our compound movements. When do you know it's time to do that? Like, and how do you do it?
Okay, well, you know, for me, you reach a certain point in your career where you realize where you're gonna peak out from your gains of packing on as much size as possible, and to maintain that is a different story. So you get more into pre-exhaustion type things because you see these guys like you just mentioned, they do heavy squats, heavy benches, heavy presses, heavy rows for years and years, and all it does is beat them up, tears up ligaments, tears up tendons, tears up muscle fibers, and there's not much recovery or coming back after that. So, you know, realistically speaking, the best way to approach it is to pre-exhaust the muscle. You know, what we did today with shoulders, we start off with rear delts, went into side delts before we really got into heavy front head movements or heavy overhead pressing and stuff like that. And you apply that to everything, you know, warming up with extensions for legs, warming up with flies for chest. Nothing too heavy, real direct, real deliberate, slow, continuous tension on the working muscle, just to break it down and get as much blood in there as possible just to help recovery. But all the heavy years of pounding took its toll, and you know, fortunately, I was able to get out before any serious wear and tear, you know, took place. But you know, the more you do it, the more prone you are to injury. So you really gotta be smart about it.
And this is different. Like when someone goes to the gym for health and fitness, they're just training, they're weight training. You know, that's a certain level of lifting where I don't think you're gonna have much wear and tear on the joints. But I don't think people realize when you're competing at a high level, like, you know, you compete at an ultra high level, Olympia. I competed at a high level, but not that level. You know what I mean? I know where I'm at in this game. You know, I'm not at that level. But even to get to my level, just the amount of intensity techniques and weight loading and load bearing that you have to do to get that size, that doesn't come in a bottle, that doesn't come in a protein tub, that comes from intensity. And you know, I've talked about this on this channel before. I used to think diet was 90% of it, but my diet's changed over the years. I've done everything from keto to high carb to medium carb to low carb. And I've seen other people change their diets. The one difference I see in really good pros or, you know, not so good amateurs is intensity. And a training intensity gets to that level. There are some anomalies, obviously. Some people who never train hard with great genetics. I think for the average, even pro, for the average pro, not the elite pro, but the average pro, it comes down to intensity.
Well, look, you know, what you said is exactly right. And I remember you were a firm believer in no carbs for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But the problem with that is there really is no right or wrong answer. Your body will transition into things. Your body goes with you. So at certain times, you know, your body might be able to handle carbs better. Or certain times your body won't be able to handle carbs better. So it's a matter of just going with the flow, being a chameleon, so to speak, when it comes to your training, comes to your dieting, and keeping that moving forward. So there really is no right or wrong approach, but you just have to see what's working for you at that time.
The main reason I don't believe in no carb diets is pancakes.
That's a good.
I mean, honestly, if I have to go through life without pancakes or even just having pancakes once a week, it's just not a world I want to live in.
I don't blame you.
I mean,
there's no sun in that world.
No, that's the Antichrist. I mean, that's not a good world. So anyway, I think the main story is that as you get to a certain level, if you start noticing, let's say in your late 20s even, and even in your mid 20s, you might have to listen to your body. Sometimes you have to listen to your body. It's in so much pain that it's not like I train legs, I train squats, a lot of squats this week. I can't walk, but that's good pain.
Well, look, and there's another approach to this also. Now, I am a firm believer there's two types of therapeutic training. There's anti-inflammatory type of training or recovery, and there's inflammatory type of training. I'm a firm believer in the inflammatory type of training. Because anytime you're getting blood in the area, getting blood to those tendons or ligaments or joints, anything that has injury in it, it's going to keep it young, it's going to keep it youthful, it's going to keep it rejuvenating and healing. One of the worst things for people to do, and you hear this all the time, whether you're an athlete or not, is somebody who's hurting in a certain area, so they avoid it entirely because their doctor told them not to.
This is funny
that's when arthritis sets in.
Yeah,
that's when the joint starts breaking down because it's not getting good blood supply. It's not allowing. You're not allowing yourself to heal. So I'm a firm believer in training whatever is injured, but training it smart, getting blood in the area, helping it heal, helping it recover.
There's over 4,000 videos on this channel. I don't remember half of them. You know, senile. Or marijuana. I'm a libertarian. We smoke weed.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm medicinal.
So
I have glaucoma.
one video I remember is rice. Rice is dead.
Right.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yeah.
Rice is dead in the actual therapeutic training community now. And for people to think that by taking time off, like first thing we do as an exos trainer is every day you're doing some form of what we call regen, which is foam rolling. What does foam rolling do? Obviously it breaks up the fascia, but it also brings blood to the area.
The only thing rice is really good for is a joint injury.
And for carbs. I thought you were gonna go there.
I should.
You beat me to it.
About 1 second.
I was like, yeah, but if you have some, obviously there's different ways. But even after I had my surgery, as soon as the doctor's like, look, you know your body. As soon as you can move. Just don't lift heavy things.
If you're talking disc injury or stuff like that, if you want to put ice on it, that's no problem. Muscular, tendon, ligaments, anything like that, you want to get blood in there. That's going to help you.
And a new age in treatment, which is well beyond the scope of this, is actually the hot tub cold therapy.
Right.
At Exos' training facility in both California and Arizona, they have a hot pool and a cold pool. You'll see these athletes, pro athletes, getting in and out of these things.
Yeah, I don't like it because my penis becomes inverted.
I just don't want anybody to see it after the cold one. It's like after the hot tub, I'm naked.
Classic cold penis.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that side.
How do you move forward from there?
But anyway, that's I guess we got to end on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, pro-subs available at tigerfitness.com. The Jekyll and Hyde stack is one that I'm really a supporter of. We'll put it down below the MyBar.
Yeah.
If it's not already out, it's coming soon.
Couple weeks.
That's off the chain.
Yeah.
Just click on the link down below. Jason, thanks for following. Thanks for joining us. Follow pro-subs on all social media.
Yeah.
And again, send all nudes and dick pics to Jason.
Not me. Send it to my alias.
That's not a game.